Okay, Jai Hind and good morning to the students of APS Jammu. I am extremely grateful to GOC 26 Division, General Neeraj Gosai and the Principal Mrs. Puneet Kaur for giving me this great opportunity to interact with you and share my experiences. And it's a great honor, and it's a great matter of pride for me that I'm interacting with such a lovely, dynamic, and energetic students of the APS Jammu. I have heard a lot about you. Before this, I had an opportunity to speak to the children of APS Bias, and it was a very useful interaction. Actually, I can only share my experiences with you all, being a Fauji, and most of our time we spend in Jammu and Kashmir. And I am from infantry, the Grenadiers Regiment, and foot soldier, and I have been commissioned into this regiment in 1976, and I retired in 2010, and now it is almost 12 years that I am out of the army, but I feel very young in interacting with you all. Regarding my unit, I had the opportunity to command 18 Grenadiers in most of the times in Kashmir Valley, chasing the militants. And then also I had the privilege to command my unit during Kargil War, which you all are aware, and I'm sure you must have visited the location also because it is in your state. And the famous peaks which you heard the name of Tiger Hill and Tololing, my unit had the great opportunity to recapture Tololing and Tiger Hill from the Pak regulars. Then I also had a tenure in Sri Lanka as a young company commander, fought against the LTT. I also took my unit to United Mission in Sierra Leone. If you have heard of Operation Khukri, in which we rescued 225 UN peacekeepers. They were taken hostages by the rebels there. And out of this, 220 belong to our country. And with this background, I have great honor to apprise you that my unit 18 Grenadiers under my command won 75 gallantry awards, which is a record. 52 in Kargil War, 20 in counterinsurgency operations in Kashmir, and 3 in United Nations, peacekeeping mission in Sierra Leone, making a tally of 75 gallantry awards. But on the other hand, we had to pay a very heavy price for these victories and for the freedom of the country and for the freedom of our countrymen. As you are aware, in Kargil, we lost 527 young officers, young JCOs and men, and more than 1,300 got injured during the Kargil War. And my unit, we lost 34 members of my family, 2 officers. If you heard the name of Colonel R. Vishwanathan, we both were assaulting the Tololing feature. That was the first one, and he died in my arms. Major Rajesh Adhikari was the company commander. He also died in the Battle of Tololing. Similarly, I lost 2 JCOs and 30 Jawans of 18 Grenadiers during the Kargil War. But the President of India and the countrymen bestowed 52 gallantry awards on my unit for the performance in Kargil operations. That includes one Paramveer Chakra to Grenadier Yogendra Yadav. He was the youngest boy of 19 years of age, and he's the living legend. And he got the Paramveer Chakra for his outstanding bravery. 2 Mahavir Chakra, one to Major Rajesh Adhikari, and one to Captain Balwan. He was lieutenant then. And 6 Veer Chakras and many others. So I am very happy to share the Kargil war and especially the actions of my Unit 18 Grenadiers with you all. And as you are aware that Kargil happened in 1999. It was fought for 2 months. It started in May, mid-May, continued till 26 July. That's why the 26th July is known as Operation Vijay. On that day, all the intruders were thrown back to the Pakistan. They were pushed back. So the Kargil, I will share my views with you in Hindi as well as in English. And let me tell you that जो Kargil war हुई थी, पाकिस्तान जैसे कि आपको सब जानते हैं कि एक बहुत बड़ा धोखा या विश्वासघात जो पाकिस्तान ने किया था. और एक तरफ, if you recollect that there was a peace talk going with our then Prime Minister Atal Bajpai ji, and in Lahore peace talks were going on. और दूसरी तरफ जो थे कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी, they were creating this mischief, और उन्होंने विंटर्स का फायदा उठाकर, और देयर यूज्ड टू बी ए अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट कि विंटर्स में दोनों तरफ की फौजें अपनी अपनी जगह वापस चली जाती थी. एंड दे केम एंड ऑक्युपाइड दीज हाइट्स. और तकरीबन 150 वर्ग किलोमीटर जो जमीन थी उस पे उनके इंट्रूडर्स आ गए. और शुरू में तो वो यही कहते रहे कि दीज आर दी मिलिटेंट्स, मुजाहिदीन हैं, एंड देयर आर नो रेगुलर्स. लेकिन धीरे धीरे जैसे पता चला कि दे वर द रेगुलर्स. एंड व्हाट इज अमेजिंग इज द वे द इंडियन आर्मी रिस्पॉन्डेड, द वे द इंडियन गवर्नमेंट रिस्पॉन्डेड. देयर इज नो डाउट दैट वी वर कॉट अनअवेयर. और ये जो इंट्रूजन हुई, दिस वाज बेसिकली इन द द्रास एरिया, इफ यू आर अवेयर, इन द कारगिल एरिया, इन द बटालिक एरिया. और व्हाट वाज द एम? Aim was basically to cut off the national highway which is passing through from Srinagar to Zojila, Kargil and Leh, then isolating the Leh and Ladakh, and carry out the interdiction on this highway, ताकि जो हमारा रसद है, सामान है और लॉजिस्टिक है, so that ये पहुंच ना पाए लेह और लद्दाख को, और लेह और लद्दाख अलग थलग पड़ जाए सियाचिन. बिकॉज सियाचिन भी हमने उनसे लिया था, तो उनको दिल में यही तमन्ना है कि जिस तरह हमने सियाचिन में किया था, वी हैड ऑक्युपाइड द सियाचिन, शायद उस तरह सा कर पाए, पर वो नहीं कर पाए. और दूसरा एम यही था कि टू कीप दी थिंग्स अलाइव, ये जो कश्मीर का जो इशू है उसको अलाइव रखा जाए. सो दैट वाज देयर एम. और जो मैं उस टाइम था, तो मेरी यूनिट उस टाइम जो थी, आपका जो कश्मीर का इलाका है, मानसवल का इलाका है, और जो पटन का इलाका है, कुपवाड़ा का इलाका है, तो माय यूनिट वाज देयर फाइटिंग अगेंस्ट द मिलिटेंट्स. और 16 मई 99 को सडनली वी वर पिक्ड अप एंड ब्रॉट टू द्रास. तो जो द्रास में जो 2 मेन फीचर्स हैं बेसिकली, तुलोलिंग एंड टाइगर हिल. और आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू शेयर विद यू कि इन दोनों लड़ाइयों में मुझे और मेरे 18 ग्रेनेडियर्स को हिस्सा लेने का मौका मिला. एंड स्ट्रेटेजिकली दीज 2 पीक्स वर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज दे प्रूव टू बी अ टर्निंग पॉइंट लेटर ऑन. अगर आप कभी गए हो वहां पे, अगर आपने द्रास में वॉर मेमोरियल देखा हो, और अगर ऊपर की तरफ आप देखते हैं तो तोलोलिंग इज बिल्कुल सामने दिखता है, और इट इज एट द हाइट ऑफ 13, 14, 15 हजार की हाइट पे है. टाइगर हिल तकरीबन 16-17 हजार की हाइट पे है। लेकिन दोनों ऑपरेशन से बहुत कुछ हमने भी सीखा, एंड बोथ दीज ऑपरेशंस वर डिफरेंट। एंड यू नो, जब ये, मैं अकेला नहीं था इसमें, पूरी इंडियन आर्मी, एयर फोर्स, नेवी और दूसरे बहुत सारे लॉजिस्टिक और सर्विसेज इसमें हिस्सा लिया। तकरीबन 30,000 के आसपास लोग पूरे इस कारगिल ऑपरेशंस की लड़ाई में शामिल हुए थे। लेकिन जो 18 ग्रेनेडियर्स के हिस्से में सबसे पहली लड़ाई आई है वो थी बैटल ऑफ तोलोलिंग। और जैसे मैंने बताया कि तोलोलिंग में जब हमने गया, व्हेन आई वाज ब्रीफ, आई वाज टोल्ड देयर आर अबाउट 4 to 5 पीपल देयर एंड द मिलिटेंट्स, द मुजाहिदीन्स। लेकिन यू विल नॉट बिलीव इट कि इस लड़ाई के लिए हमें तकरीबन 22 दिन लगे। और जब हम वहां पे गए, वी डिडंट हैव एनी इंटेलिजेंस, वी डिडंट हैव क्लोथिंग, द हाई एल्टीट्यूड की जो क्लोथिंग है वो नहीं होनी चाहिए थी। एंड यू नो, इट इज ए हाई एल्टीट्यूड प्लस सुपर हाई एल्टीट्यूड, so you have to have different kind of clothing and special kind of clothing. You didn't have that. Then you need to have the artillery, because we were surprised, so we didn't have that adequate artillery. So Tololing was a tough battle, and moreover we were told there are 4 to 5 people. And you will not believe, it took for me and 18 grenadiers to 22 days. और 13 और 14, 12 और 13 जून को 2 राजरिफ के साथ मिलके we captured the peak of the Tololing. But we had to pay a very heavy price. I lost 25 of my brave men in the battle of Tololing. Similarly, Rajrif, 2 Rajrif also paid a very heavy price, 1 officer, 2 JCUs and 7 Jawans. That is the tally which was given for Tololing. And Tololing, I told you, it was most strategic. It proved to be a turning point in the entire battle. It had psychological, strategical effect. It raised the morale of our men, the army and the countrymen. और Tololing लेने के बाद next of the task which was given to me was the Tiger Hill. Tiger Hill, you know, it is the most dominating feature in the entire Dras sector. It is the highest point, and the enemy had occupied it, and he had the clear observation of the Dras Baul. Dras is like a vowel, and he was dominating this national highway as well as this Dras township. So, but we had become wiser now for the operation of the Tiger Hill. Like I told you, in Tololing we had nothing. We had a lot of inadequacy of artillery, engineer efforts, high altitude equipment, clothing, snowboats, like. But for the Tiger Hill, I had 120 guns, the artillery guns. I had engineer efforts. I had adequate time for carrying out the reconnaissance and for carrying out the acclimatization and the reconnaissance. So we were prepared well for the operation of the Tiger Hill. And the Tiger Hill operation was carried on 4th of July, night 3rd, 3rd and 4th, when the Tiger Hill top was captured. And it was combined efforts of 8 Sikh and 18 Grenadiers that captured the Tiger Hill. But again, both the units had to pay a very heavy price for this victory on Tiger Hill. Like my unit lost 9 of our gallant soldiers. Similarly, 8 Sikh paid a very heavy price for the capture of Tiger Hill. So this is in a broad shell the participation of my unit in the Battle of Tololing, Tiger Hill. And you are aware the enemy there is not the real enemy who is sitting on top. He is a defender, he is well fortified. And the problem is for the attacker who has to climb up. There is no oxygen, the gradient is very steep, and he has to carry about 25 kg of load on his back. That is his ammunition and his logistic. So it is a very, very, very difficult situation. Like in the Battle of Tololing, I had 22 days. The logistic was a nightmare. Casualty evacuation, how do you evacuate casualty? Like I lost 25 of people. And there was many a times when you had to tell a boy that during daytime, if you have seen that area, there is not even a blade of grass. There is no vegetation. There is nothing there. And the enemy can spot you, and he had snipers. He can take on you. There were instances when the boys got hit on their forehead, and they just collapsed. So casualties were not evacuated during daytime. And nighttime, we could not light up anything. Like I lost Vishwanathan, he got very severely wounded, and we had to pull him back, and we took him behind a stone, but we could not give him adequate first aid because we could not light up anything. He was bleeding so profusely. My one boy lost his eyes because we could not evacuate him during daytime. Had we evacuated him during daytime, perhaps his eyes would have been saved, because there was so much of time by the time the evening set and we evacuated him. And for every man, you need about 6 to 8 people to evacuate a single casualties. Imagine. And we didn't take bath for months together. And the chapatis and whatever food, chapatis or some sabji used to come from the down below. And there was nothing to heat them up. And there was a continuous artillery shelling. There was a continuous firing. The weather was not very friendly. The wind chill effect is so high. So it is you can just imagine the circumstances under which our troops, and hats off to brave men, who despite all these odds carried out all this operation on the Tololing. And I told you we paid a very heavy cost on it. And the enemy was so fortified. If you remember, on 27th and 28th of May, they had a Stinger fire missile on the top of Tololing and .5140. And they shot one Mi-17 and killing all the crews. They had machine guns. But for the Battle of Tiger Hill, like I told you, I had everything. It was very well coordinated. And the main credit for the success goes to our Ghataks, like the commandos. So the element of surprise and the planning which was made was from the behind, from the Tiger Hill, from the behind. Because in front he could see you. He could see you the directions you're coming. He could count on you. He could bring out pinpoint fire on you. It is only the element of surprise that we could get the top. And that is how this young boys of Yogendra Yadav, despite having got severe injuries, about 16 bullets in his hand, he still continued. And his entire team got wiped out. He was the only survivor. So these are the difficult things in the challenges. As a soldier, one has to go through. So in life, there will be many hiccups. There will be many barriers. There will be many the failures. Like as a student also, at many times you may be feeling that, oh my God, I failed in this class. I got less marks. What can I do it? So whatever the lessons you want to drive from all this, these are the live lessons. Losing marks or this thing is not that major thing, but losing lives. And what is it that Indian soldier is capable, and he is always willing. He also has families like you. He has children. He has his old parents. He has a wife way back home. So what is this which he is prepared on your command? He is prepared to give his life. You must think of it. What is it? He is a normal man like you and me. He is nothing outstanding. But what makes him outstanding? That he gives his life for the country. And especially we must ponder over it, think over it, deliberate over it when we have the Independence Day tomorrow coming. You are the young children. You have so many avenues to go outside the world, and whatever profession you want to pursue, whether it is the Indian Army, you want to go to the civil service, or you want to have any other profession, it is up to you. But what do you derive? So this is basically my interaction with you. So I'll be more than happy if you ask me any sort of a question which may be bugging your mind and you want to ask, and do not feel hesitant. Your teachers are there or somebody is there. Kindly feel free and ask me whatever I feel is whatever is my capabilities or knowledge. I will try to share it with you. And because I want to make it more interactive, and it is up to you. The more questions you ask or whatever you ask, I will try to tell you the facts and my experience and my perception about the army and about the civil life. Because after I got retired in 2010, now I am into civil life. I have also served as a GM Rohtang Tunnel project, if you heard of Rohtang Tunnel. I am now the chairman cum managing director of Ex-Servicemen Corporation. I'm looking after our Veer Naris, the war widows, our ex-servicemen who come home early, who get retired at the age of 35, 45, how to rehabilitate them, how to resettle them. I'm into that work. So I am the CMD of that. I also go to the colleges and speak to the children, interact, not because that, I've got so much knowledge to share, because you also feel young when you talk to you. And so now it is open to you, whatever question you want to ask, I'll be too happy to answer those questions. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
So, wishing you very happy Independence Day.
Please, can you be louder? I can't hear you.
So, am I audible now?
Yeah, a little bit.
There must be a network issue.
Microphone.
So, is it better now?
Yeah, it is better now. Yes.
So, my question to you is, what are the few things you miss about being in service?
About the?
So, the things you miss about being in service.
What's your name?
Sir, Samanvay.
Samanvay is a good question. See, army life is, firstly, it is a disciplined life, unlike in civil. See, and it is a structured life, but it is very challenging and rewarding also. And it is a regimented life also. Everything is looked after there. And moreover, it is above any caste, creed, religion, faith. It's that. So so that's what I say. It is one of the best thing there. And the civil life is totally different. It's totally different. It is not structured. It is not that disciplined. It. So definitely you miss all these things. That's what I miss it. Yeah. Yeah.
So my second question to you is, sir, in the modern world, is wars the only option between problems and solution between two nations?
Not at all. Not at all. The war is not solution at all. It is the last solution. It is the last resort. Main thing is, even the India has never initiated any war. If you see the war we had with whether it is with China or with Pakistan, we never initiated them. It is on their behest. But at the same time, we have to be ready. We have to be capable, and you cannot take it that enemy. The ill design of the China and Pakistan, but we have never initiated. So, but at the same time, you got to be capable of it, so that there is a deterrent on the enemy, that they should not, think of waging a war against India. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Happy Independence Day in advance.
Thank you, Nandini. Same to you.
Yes, sir. So, sir, my first question to you is there anything that you would like to change in the past, like for the wars or anything?
Yeah, it's a good question. But if I look back, I can only say I wish I didn't have those many casualties. I didn't have to lose my family members. Like I lost 2 officers and 2 JCOs and 30 Jawans of 18 Canadians, because it's a emotional issue. But when I look back in hindsight, probably we could have not avoided, because the situation was that, and the war conditions were like that. But definitely somewhere in your mind, you do think that wish we could have not lost those family members, and wish we could have saved them. Yeah, Nandini.
Thank you, sir. We are really delighted to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Happy Independence Day in advance.
Yeah, thank you, Mudit.
Sir, my first question is, how do you think the Kargil war has changed yours and your family's life?
Let me tell you firstly how it changed, but what happened during Kargil. My family was at Delhi. We have separated family quarters where the families reside, and most of the times we are in field. And our families, the children, they grow up alone. unlike most of children who stay with their parents, near and dears, with their relations. Most of the time, we don't see our children growing up. So during the war, when it was the Battle of Tololing, and during the month of June, I had three important functions and celebration. On 2nd June is the birthday of my daughter. 18th June is my marriage anniversary. And 26th June is my son's birthday. You will not believe, in the fog of war, and when it was a question of life and death and the casualties were pouring in, I didn't remember these days. And I could not speak to my children. I could not speak to my family who was there in Delhi. And many times it happened, I didn't know whether it is day or night, because 22 days continuously, day and night, you can imagine the mental pressure, at least I as a commanding officer was going through. I didn't wish them at all. We had the satellite phone where we could speak once in a week or something like that, but even I forgot it completely. So, but yes, after the war, now we have retired. It had made us more empathetic, more humble, more sober, and we have seen the life from a close quarter, the thin line between life and death. So maybe that we have become more practical. Yeah, Mudit.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. I'm Kamya Sharma, studying in class 12. I would like to ask you if you can tell about few experiences of the families of army personnel during these times, pandemic.
Kamna, thank you very much. I told you it is very emotional. Like my family was in Delhi. Similarly, the families of our JCOs, officers, Jawans, they were in the different parts of the country. And when this is the first time that media had entered the battlefield, and the casualties were when happening, and their bodies were being taken to their villages. This is the first time that they were given very respectable funerals, and those pictures were pouring on the television. Many of the families, including my wife, they had switched off the television. They had stopped seeing the television that time. So they have gone a very, very difficult period that time, a sort of a trauma. And now the children have grown up. Now they are well settled, because in an infantry, you have very closer relations than family with all those infantry units. People will realize that how the relationships they go on. So now they have come out of it, but those were the very, very difficult days, and especially when the bodies were going to the villages, but they coped with it, and we remained in touch with them, and especially after the casualties had taken place, we ensured that their welfare is looked after by the state government, by the central government, whether by giving them something for rehabilitation, like the petrol pumps or the jobs or the monetary benefits. So those were the issues which were taken care of. But yes, they have, even today, when they think of that their family member is not there on Diwali day or on any festival day, they do miss him. Of course, they have come a long way, and they are leading their own life. But somewhere that thing will always remain, that they have lost some of their near and dear ones, and they miss him. So that is there. But yes, when it happened, it was most traumatic and most difficult time, which has been got over now. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Happy Independence Day in advance.
Thank you. Happy Independence Day, Kanav.
Sir, as a commanding officer, how did you motivate your fellow officers and troops in such difficult situations?
Kanav, it is not only me who will motivate them. We have a very structured system, apparatus in place. Like a raw young boy, when he comes to the regimental center, the rigorous training which he is undergone, and then we have that naam, namakan and nashan. नाम उसके अपना, उसके समाज का, परिवार का, देश का, नमक जिस देश प्रदेश का नमक आता है, निशान, झंडा, चाहे उस रेजिमेंट का या देश का झंडा. तो these are the things which we really motivate him, And then he comes back to the Paltan जहाँ पे वो जाता है, वहाँ पे he is treated like a family member, and he is told his histories, the battle histories, what the battalion has done earlier. So it is a structured system, and it is not a press of a button that he is totally suddenly motivated and made as a good soldier. So it is one lot of sweat and blood goes behind this to motivate him, to make him a fit soldier. So that, and then when he passes out from his training, तो वो एक कसम खाता है कि अगर जीवन में जब भी जरूरत पड़े उसे he has to sacrifice his life, he will give his life. और वो लाइफ देता है. आपने देखा कि किस तरह से 587 रणबांकुरे जो है वो शहीद हुए. ये सिर्फ अभी कारगिल की लड़ाई की बात नहीं है, आजादी के बाद जितनी भी 1947 के बाद आज तक जितनी लड़ाई हुई है, एवरी सोल्जर्स जो ये प्रण किया है उसने अपने देश के प्रति, एंड ही इज गिवन ए ब्लैंक चेक टू द कंट्री कि भाई जब जरूरत पड़ेगी मैं अपने प्राणों की आहुति जो है देश के लिए देता हूँ. एंड ही एवरी टाइम एंड ही हैज फुलफिल्ड promise what he has made to the country and the countrymen. So this motivation, how do we motivate? And the most motivation is by self example. अगर आप देखोगे कि जितने भी इसमें कैजुअलिटीज हुई हैं, वो यंग जवान थे, यंग जेसीओज थे, यंग ऑफिसर्स थे, उनकी कैजुअलिटीज ज्यादा हुई है बिकॉज दे लेड फ्रॉम द फ्रंट. आपने नाम सुना है कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा, सौरभ कालिया, कैप्टन बलवान सिंह, कैप्टन सचिन निबालकर, बहुत सारे ऑफिसर्स हुए हैं, संजय कुमार हु गॉट द परमवीर चक्र, इस तरह बहुत सारे जेसीओ, सुबेदार रणधीर सिंह, लाल सिंह. सो ऑल दीज पीपल, सी दीज आर द मोटिवेशन. दे लेड फ्रॉम द फ्रंट. They led from the front. I told you, they also knew. I told you they are normal human being like you and me. They also have the families at back. What is it? But they led from the front because they have been motivated right from the day they joined the army. And every day is a motivation. Every day for them is a motivation. It is not a 1 day job or 1 year job or 2 year job. It is over the period that you have to keep this fellow motivated so that they don't fear giving their lives for the country. Yeah, Kanna.
Good morning,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Morning.
That's your precious time.
Yeah, Harshim, say again, please.
Thank you so much for
Thank
giving us precious time.
Thank you, Harshim.
So my question to you is, sir, in army, please share what one misses about civilian life.
In army, civilian life. Yeah, like in civilian life, you have Saturday, today, holiday, Sunday, you have holidays, you go to your friend's birthday, you go for, your parents come with you on these monthly school meetings, your annual functions, your sports function. In army, we can't do that. And we don't even see our children growing up. Suddenly you realize that, oh my God, they have done 12th, they have done 10th. You don't meet them. So definitely you miss them. You miss all these small things. But they are not small. They are very big things in life. You miss social life. You don't interact. When you come back after retirement like me, you feel isolated because like 35 years I was in the army. So now to cover up 35 years, how do I cover up? So you miss by the children have grown up. Some of them are married. So you have missed that beautiful time which you should have spent together with them. So all these things, Arshin, definitely you miss so many things in life. But then there is no remorse. It is okay. Somewhere you are compensated. You are looked after by the army. You are physically, mentally fit. Somewhere you are rewarded. You are happy. You are more joyful. So that is how one has to, find a balance. But yes, being in army, you have so many restrictions on you. Maybe that sometimes there is a death in the family. Most of the times you are not even, like my father died, I could reach after a week. Firstly, the information never came. There was no system of mobile phone or other phones and all that. But you definitely miss throughout your life that you were not there at the right place, at the right time. So these are the hassles, these are the part of the package. But one has to take it in a stride. Yeah, Ashin.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sandhya.
Sir, first and foremost, happy Independence Day for tomorrow.
Same to you.
Sir, can you please tell us that how Kargil War was different from other Indo-Pak wars of 1965 and 1971?
65, 71, you are aware they were full-fledged war, free for all. Kargil war was a limited war. It was only fought in a limited, terrain, in limited sector. You see that Air Force was only Air Force or the military was not used across the border. So these were the limitations, and it was confined to a particular area. The entire Indian Army or the Pakistan Army was not involved. The entire power of the defense services were not utilized. So to that extent, yes, it was a different war, and then it is a different war that till now such the war at such a altitude was never fought. It was a time when these weapons like your woofers, they are basically indirect weapon firing, but they were also used in the direct fire role. This was the war which was fought in super high altitude. This is the war where the young officers, they did miracles for this one. So in many ways, the Kargil war is not comparable to the conventional war like 71, 65. It was limited war. Yes, Sandhya.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So happy Independence Day in advance.
Yeah, who is it? Akshit?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Yeah. Happy Independence Day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So why it is said that Kargil war was the outcome of INT failure?
Yeah, I told you in my briefing also. Initially, the Pakistani had ill design, and during winters there was an understanding that both the countries, both the army used to vacate the winter vacated post. It is not possible to stay there for longer. So it was an understanding. But I told you कि एक बहुत बड़ा विश्वासघात धोखा उन्होंने पहली बार किया कि they came and they occupied all these places, and it was a almost 150 square kilometer area. It's not a small area. So yes, it was initially it was an intelligence failure. We could not make out that they will do this mischief, but they did it. So yes, it is. But now we have occupied every inch of land. Our surveillance is better. We are holding that ground. We are carrying out regular patrollings and all that. So things are better. But yes, initially there was some coordination problem that the intelligence was not forthcoming. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Happy Independence Day in advance.
Yeah, happy Independence Day.
So my question is, why militants come to India?
Why? Say again.
So why militants come?
Why militants come to India?
Yes,
Yeah. Because Pakistan is superior. From the defense point of view, economic point of view, and what is the situation in Pakistan. There is a lot of poverty. There is a lot of unemployment. There is a lot of religious indoctrinations. And the madrasas, what they teach there. So these are the things. And secondly, the Kashmir is the issue which Pakistan wants to keep alive. And these militants are basically the criminals, who are there, and then they are given money and they are assured that their families will be taken care of. And if you come alive, you will get this much more money and all that. So that is how these militants are, indoctrinated in a wrong way, and they are pushed this side to be killed. And how these people they come across and how they are killed. But that is the reason, because firstly there's unemployment. From the defense point of view, they cannot afford a full-fledged war, conventional war. So this is known as proxy war. This is known as low-cost conflict. So keep it low, so that it will not cost them more. So they cannot afford to go for conventional war. So these are the reasons that they keep sending these militants. So the issue is kept alive, and these criminals are sent here. Basically, the militants, and they call it mujahideens. Yeah, Ritika. Pardon?
So what motivates them to come here?
I told you, motivation is money. Motivation is unemployment. motivation is poverty. That is why it is motivating them to come here. And then, the ISI there is keeping the issue of Kashmir alive. They want to keep the issue of the Kashmir alive so that they can internationalize it.
So what does they achieve by that?
Hello?
So what does they achieve by doing that?
They achieve by that they're keeping the issue alive so that you exploit the people against each other country. So there is enmity, so that we have the Pakistani, they have the grudges against the Indians and the leaders who are there, that, so that they divert their attention from this poverty, from unemployment, from their other problems. And they will say, okay, now the Kashmir is issue, let's unite, let's do this. India has done like this, we will do like this. So it helps their leadership to keep this issue alive. Otherwise, they will not achieve anything.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful opportunity to have a conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Ritika, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Happy Independence Day in advance, sir.
Thank you, Naman.
Sir, my question is to you is that, so we know that Kargil happened 20 years ago. So, sir, is there any chance that it can happen again?
No question. We told you initially there were some intelligence hiccups, but now we are, like I said, we are occupying all the critical features. We have better surveillance, we have better weaponaries, we have better preparations. So all these things have been taken into account. There is no question the Kargil happening again. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. First of all, a very happy Independence Day in advance.
Thank you, Anand.
So, my question is that, sir, can you tell us about any real-time experiences or challenges that the soldiers face whenever they are cut off from the rest of the world during heavy rainfall or snowfall?
Oh, there are many. Some of them I shared with you. Like the winters are very severe. The temperatures are -40, -50. And it is not during Kargil war that I was there. Even I commanded Dras Brigade for 3 years thereafter. And I had about 80 winter vacated posts, winter posts we call them. And we used to send our men there in sometime in September, August, and get them next year in June, July. So almost 10, 11 months these boys used to be there. And whenever even there are problems at home, we could not get them because most of the places, even the helicopters could not land. Maybe there are no helipads, or because of the weather conditions, the helicopters could not land. And there has been numerous examples when we had these glaciers coming up, when we had these avalanches coming up, and Jawans dying because of that, and the posts are cut off. Sometimes you even can't communicate for days together with those posts. You don't know whether they're alive or this thing. Many times it happened that I can quote one incident that one officer, he lost his father, and he said that I want to go and I don't care if there is avalanche or something. Then we had to speak to his family members and tell him, look, please tell this boy that, wait for some time, let the weather be all right. We will get him evacuated. But the fact remains that he could not be there for the funeral of his father. We could not get him. There were instances when people were to get married and they were to go on leave, but suddenly there was a heavy snowfall and these posts were cut off. We could not get them down, or the helicopter didn't come at all, and the people had already gathered at his home. Then we had to speak to their parents or to the groom's parents that don't worry, the boy is okay. They thought probably the boy doesn't want to come. He is doing it deliberately. So there were a number of situations that you have when the posts get cut off. And most of the time, in peacetime, this is the most difficult time to manage these men, who are at the pickets, who are alone. Imagine if you are there for 6 to 7 months in a post which is just by 50 to 60 meters. You have to spend everything time. You have to melt the snow and then, have the water to drink or to cook your food. There's no dearth of food. There's no dearth of kerosene. You have plenty. but you can't eat it. And by the time when I used to interview them, when they used to come down, everybody has lost 10 kgs, 15 kgs of weight. They were so skinny, as if, this thing. That is how it takes in those areas, super high altitude areas, where you have all these logistic problems, you have these health problems, and it is very, very difficult to manage during winter period, these cutoff posts. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Happy Independence Day, sir, in advance.
Who is speaking? I can't see.
Sir, Devshish Guru of class 10th.
Who is called? Devshish?
Yes.
Devshish.
So as we know that few days back, an army person, Mr. Neeraj Chopra, won a gold medal in Olympics 2020. So how was your experience as an army?
No, we felt very happy. Neeraj Chopra got the gold medal in javelin. We are very proud as Indian, and we are very proud as soldiers because he did laurels to the country and to the Indian Army. He is from Rajputana Rifles. He was picked up by the army in 2016, trained, and he got many gold medals in Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and finally, with his hard work and training and all that, he got the gold medal for all of us. And Indian Army has been doing very well. In Olympics itself, we have got 7 medals. 3 by Major Dhyan Chand, you are aware, hockey wizard, and he got 3 gold medal. 1 now javelin, Neeraj Chopra has got it. 4. You are aware, you have heard the name of Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathore, and you have heard the name of Subedar Vijay Kumar. They both did proud in shooting. They got silver medal. And similarly in hockey, we got Colonel Balveer Singh, who got bronze medal. So 7 medals by the army itself were won by in the Olympics. I'm talking about the Olympics. So army has a very major contribution, and now first time in athletics in the history of India, we have got this medal, individual medal in javelin, and that too in gold. So my congratulations to you all, and we have a lot of expectations from you guys also to do well right from the beginning. And I'll request the government that we have 2024 and 2028, and we have mission, India or mission Olympics, and in army we are carrying out right from 2001. So we want youngsters like you to join the forces and then be part of this and bring laurels to your country and to the Indian Army. Thank you, Jitendra.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Devish.
Sir, this doesn't mean so that we can't do anything when we join army.
No, you can do many things. The army has a lot of scopes, sports, adventures, whatever you want to do. This is the best profession. If I'm given chance, I would like to join the Indian Army again. So Indian Army has a lot of things to offer to the youth like you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So I felt so glad to talk to you.
Thank you, Devshish.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, can you describe how you felt coming home after the war?
Yeah, it is a mixed feeling, Manish, because I had lost my 34 members of my family, and we were together right from 1976 when I got commissioned into that family, and we were together till 1999. And when I took those 900 men there, but 34 I could not bring back, so I was going home. So it of course there was a sense of pride, and that yes, my boys have done this for us. We have got victory in Kargil over various peaks, Tololing or Tiger Hill. But somewhere it was in your mind also that yes, we are going back, but we have left many behind in those peaks. And I make it a point during Kargil Vijay Divas, whenever there is a function, to go back and just as a solace to spend some time there. So when I went back, yes, you were very happy that you are meeting your children, you are meeting your parents, you are meeting your relatives, friends, neighbors. But somewhere this feeling this emotional feeling was also there. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. So happy Independence Day in advance first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, my question to you is that, sir, this time it is said that Pakistan will have a different approach supported by China as well. So, sir, does Indian Army has the capability to fight at two fronts at the same time?
Yeah, don't worry. We are quite capable. You have seen it now. You have seen it, Galwan, how the China was given the response, and you've seen the what is happening in Kashmir. The militants, the activities have gone down, and we have carried out Balakot. We have carried out many other operations across the international border. So we are quite capable. They are not in a position to take on us. Let them unite. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, what are your tips to the students aspiring for officer ranks in army?
Yeah, I would like you to join the right age for you to join an NDA, IMA, combined, CDS exams, women entry. There's a women entry. So I want you to join forces, but you join if you have passion and you really want to join it, because yes, outside it may look rosy. It is rosy. There is no doubt. But then there are a lot of requirements from a person. That firstly, he should be motivated. He should have a passion. And the training and everything, we do it. You don't worry. But yes, you should have passion. You should have that zanoon or jazwa, that I want to do something. I want to go forces. But this thing is now the opportunities are so much. The technology is so vast. You have every opportunity. Every profession is good. So this is the time you're young, and don't think too much of studies. Yes, carry out studies because you're been left by your parents to carry out studies. But at the same time, take out some time for your sports. खूब पढ़ो, खूब खेलो. खेलना भी जरूरी है. खूब खेलो और खूब पढ़ो. So both things are very important at this stage. And once you become, grown up, then the life's problem will start. This time will not come to you. So now play hard, okay, and study well, and decide what you want to do. Discuss with your teachers who are quite capable, competent. Discuss with your parents. It is a combination of students, teachers, and parents, and you have to take a collective call that what you should do in life. But whatever you do, my best wishes, and you take your own decision finally what you want to do. Don't leave it to parents also that they want to make you engineer, doctor, they want to make you something. But it is your personal call. That is my personal thing. And if you ask me, I would like you to all, the lovely boys and girls to join the armed forces.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. बात कर रहे हैं. Yeah.
Jain sir, Captain Vinay here, sir.
Yeah, Vinay.
Sir, I request, sir, if all students have finished with their session of doubts, that I give the small closing address, sir. And I would also like to reiterate the biodata and life history of our esteemed speaker today here, Brigadier Kushal Thakur.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that. Yes.
Sir. Good morning, sir. Principal, APS Jammu, and all my dear students. Brigadier Kushal Thakur, YSM, Youth Seva Medal, retired, was commissioned in the 18 Grenadiers in December 1976. He was the first officer to be commissioned in the unit post its raising. Brigadier Kushal Thakur has participated in a plethora of operations with vast experience across the entire spectrum of conflict. The brigadier has many feathers in his hat. Prior to the Op Vijay, as commanding officer of 18 Grenadiers, the unit was deployed in counter-insurgency task, where the unit was awarded 20 awards during Op Rakshak. Under his iconic leadership and supervision, the unit recaptured Tiger Hill and Toluling during the limited war against Pakistan, thus affecting the enemy from their well-dug-in defenses in the icy heights of Dras region. Post the conflict, the unit earned the brave title of Bravest of the Brave and emerged as the most decorated unit of Kargil War. It was awarded Chief of Army Staff Unit Citation besides 52 gallantry awards. In recognition for his bravery, outstanding bravery, distinguished leadership, and meritorious services, Brigadier Kushal Thakur was awarded Youth Seva Medal. A few point on Youth Seva Medal for all the children here. The Youth Seva Medal is one of the India's military decorations for distinguished service during wartime. It is awarded for a high degree of distinguished service in an operational context which includes time of war, conflict, or hostilities, and may be awarded posthumously. Just after the Kargil conflict, the brigadier had the distinction of leading 18 grenadiers in Op Rockberry in Sierra Leone under the aegis of UNPKF, where the Indian contingent rescued over 250 hostages held by the RUF military. The unit not only performed outstandingly in the operations, but also was equally illustrious with the peacekeeping activities and measures which were being constantly adjudged by a large number of dignitaries visiting the unit from the United Nations. Brigadier Thakur has the eminence of having participated in Op Pavan in Sri Lanka as a company commander post his retirement since 2010. He has been actively participating in social service, advocating the cause of ex-servicemen, farmers, and youth. He is happily married to Mrs. Bhagwati Thakur and they have a son and daughter. Sir, it has indeed been a privilege for us to have you here on the 75th Independence Day celebrations. Thank you, sir. And also Principal APS Jammu for all the coordination and wishing all the students a very